This is a quick demonstration on how to create a simple project. Let's create a new project. Now, let's add some screens. You can add screens one by one, or you can click Add Screens to add several at once. To change the background images of each screen, you must add image resources to the project. To do this, click View Image Resources. You can add new images simply by dragging and dropping them on this window. To change the background image of a screen, right-click the screen on the Screens panel, then click Select Background Image. You can also change the background image of multiple screens at once, by selecting them and clicking Select Background Image, Different. Just select the images you want, then drag and drop them above on the screen list in the left panel. As you can see, now the background images have changed. This is the screen resolution option. You must select a screen resolution that matches the target LCM for this project. Now, let's add some icons, using the View Icon Resources button. Icons are grouped into icon libraries. Click Create New Icon Library, and give it a new name. Select the new icon library, and click Add Icons to browse for images on your system, or just drag and drop them on the right panel. Each icon within a library is associated to a unique icon ID. This number identifies the icon, and can be freely changed, by clicking the left and right arrow buttons. The icon ID is prefixed to the icon's file name. Now, let's create a font library. To do this, click the View Font Resources button. Then, click the Create New Font Library button. The details on how to create font libraries will be addressed on another video. For now, select Text in Font Type, and click Update Preview. If you select the new font library, you can preview all the characters that it contains. Every time you make any changes to the project's resources, you must recompile them. Click Compile Resources to compile all images, icon, and font libraries. Additionally, you can click Compile Controls to compile all the control objects. You can also click Compile Display Variables to compile only the display variable objects. The last specific compilation action is Compile System Configuration. This button compiles the system configuration settings which set the LCM's basic options. Click System Configuration to open its window. Here you can set options like the serial protocol frame header, the serial protocol baud rate, and several others. In order for serial communication to work, the frame header and baud rate values must be correctly configured. To compile the whole project at once, click Compile All. This ensures that all references and files are up to date and ready for download to the LCM. The output panel, on the bottom of the window, shows the results of the compilation. To exemplify the usage of resources, let's create a dynamic icon object. Since all resources have been compiled, the library property correctly shows icon library icons 1. All previews are also displaying correctly. Notice that some objects, dynamic icon, for instance, are able to show a simple preview on the canvas panel. To enable the preview, click Show/Hide Object Preview. Let's add a new icon library. As the icon resources have been modified but not compiled, the new icon library will not show up in the library property. To solve this, compile the whole project or only the project resources. Now, the new icon library shows up, as expected. When you're satisfied with your project, it's time to download it to the LCM. To make sure everything is up to date, compile the whole project again. By default, the project is saved after every compilation. You can disable this behavior on the Settings menu. There are two methods of project download, SD card and serial port. Each method will be explained later. The first thing to do before downloading the project is to select which files you want to send. Click Output Transfer Options. From this menu you can select only the files you need to be copied to the LCM. This is useful for when you want to update only the system configuration, to change the current baud rate, for example. Usually, it's only necessary to copy the interface object changes, stored in the controls, display variables and RAM initialization files. When you modify the icon and font libraries, you may want to copy the fonts and icon libraries files. The default font and QR code library files come bundled with the LCM from factory, and are usually not needed. If the background image of any screen is changed, you may also want to select the pictures file. Only the screens that are checked on the screens panel are copied. To download the files to the LCM using a SD card, or direct USB cable, on compatible devices, insert the SD card into the computer. Select the correct drive and click Copy Output Folder to SD card. The transference via SD card is very fast, so we can select all files. After the copy process is complete, you can remove the SD card and insert it into the LCM. If you are using a direct USB device, the files are already updated into the LCM. Notice that direct USB cable are plugged directly into the LCM, and no serial adapter is used. To download the project via serial port, we must first ensure that the serial communication is working. Open the serial terminal by clicking Open Terminal. Select the serial port where the LCM is connected to, via USB serial adapter. Open the port. Click Send from read version to verify the connection. The expected answer is shown in red, where the data portion is the LCM's firmware version. Make sure the selected baud rate matches the LCM's current baud rate. If the current baud rate is unknown, you must try each one of them. Alternatively, you may download the system configuration file via SD card before starting this procedure. We recommend using the maximum baud rate value, so that the copy process takes the least time possible. The file copy via serial port may take a long time to complete, so it's best to disable the copy of the larger files. If you are modifying any serial port settings, only the system configuration file should be enabled, because further communications will fail after the changes. Now, click Download Files. This completes this quick tutorial on how to get started using Unique View AD. Thanks for watching.